Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Welcome back, Padawans, to another episode of the Holocron Minute. And today, we are going to be discussing, is Microsoft going to go multi-platform in the coming future? Now, this is coming to us from PlayStationLifestyle.net, and this is by Zarmena Khan. So we're going to get into this article. We're going to see what they've found from different interviews from Microsoft's CEO, what he's been saying as he's been on the interview, train, as he's been going around making the rounds. So let's see what he has to say, see where Microsoft is firmly planted as they make their way into 2024, all right? But without further ado, let us begin where Khan starts, and they write, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella is the latest company executive to hint at releasing select Xbox games on PlayStation in the future. Last November, it was CFO Tim Stewart who suggested that going multi-platform is part of the company's vision, following which rumors emerged that Microsoft is considering bringing Sea of Thieves to PlayStation. In a recent interview with Bloomberg, Nadella said that with the Activision Blizzard deal coming to a close, Microsoft has a chance to become a good publisher on both Sony and Nintendo. Separately, Nadella was quizzed about the future of Xbox in light of news that Microsoft's market value has surpassed that of Apple's, to which he said that Microsoft wants to build and release games across all platforms. We think that now we have the ability to do what we've always set out to do, which is build great games and deliver them to folks across the platforms. That was a quote by Nadella. He continues, Xbox and consoles, PC, mobile, and cloud as target platforms. Quote, we want to do our very best in gaming. It's a core business for us, end quote. Nadella added before changing topics and moving on to AI. All right, so that is pretty much what we've got here. So they've been doing the rounds. They've been saying different things about, about these, or what is going to happen with the future of Xbox, right? They have Activision Blizzard under their belt. They've gotten Bethesda under their belt, I believe a couple years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago they got Bethesda. So it's now time to see what Microsoft's plan is with Xbox and how they plan to navigate the gaming industry as a whole as they go forward with this amount of, gaming studios under their belt. And they're taking a lot of studios, publishers and whatnot that have been on multiple platforms, right? These games have been multiplat. Call of Duty comes to mind. I'm thinking of another one, Titanfall, stuff like that. These are all, Titanfall EA. I am loose in the head. So a screw got loose somewhere, guys. I apologize, all right? But my point is, they have a lot of games that previously have been on multiple different consoles. Now, people are thinking, is this going to be a thing where we see Microsoft make these games exclusive to their console? Now, with that being said, and I understand as we're having this conversation about Xbox going multiplat, I am a very big believer in exclusives, in exclusive games on respective consoles. I think that's really what pushes the boundary in sales. That's what gets consumers, regular consumers that are like you and me. You're watching a video, if you're watching me on YouTube talking about games, odds are you're watching somebody else talking about games. That means you're in the gaming industry and you're in the know more than the standard person who's just going and buying a game from Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So if you're one of those people, you still might like exclusives. You know what I mean? That might be a deciding factor for you as to what console to jump on first as we get into the new generation. And that usually is how I play the field, right? So I look at both consoles, I look at to see what they have to offer, and if they have something that kind of resonates with me more, and if they have like a decent amount of games that resonate with me that I can only play on that console, on that platform, I'm gonna go for that one first. And honestly, with what PlayStation did with the PS4 generation, they solidified that their exclusive games are what I want to play going into the 9th generation, which is what we're in now. So yes, exclusives sell consoles. I would not have gotten the PlayStation 5 first if it wasn't for the exclusives I knew were going to be coming down the road. But with that being said, I would not have gotten the Series X as quickly as I did if it was not for the Bethesda purchase. Without that Bethesda purchase, I would not have bought the Xbox as quickly as I did. But as soon as I heard that that was going to be coming down the road, that they were, in talks of buying and acquiring Bethesda, I started making moves as to, okay, I got to get a Series X in this household, period. Because I'm not going to be locked out of Bethesda games, even though they're not necessarily, again, Bethesda games, the studio Bethesda games, their games are not specifically my cup of tea in the grand scheme of things, but the other studios that Bethesda has under their belt, they definitely are my jam. Doom, Wolfenstein, those games of that nature in their different other studios that they have, they definitely do strike me as a studio or a publishing arm that I definitely don't want to be locked out of. So that is another reason why I jumped to the Series X. There are multiple people in the world who are making these decisions just like myself, all right? So exclusives do sell. But the other aspect of it is I don't like that people don't have the opportunity to play these games. And that's the aspect of it that, it's a tit for tat. There's good and bad to it. Yes, exclusives are going to sell your console. They're going to give something, or give your console something that people can talk about. Like, hey, Xbox is going to be getting Halo Infinite, and it's not coming anywhere else. If you are a diehard Halo fan, you're going to want to get an Xbox. Same thing over on PlayStation with, let's say, Spider-Man for me personally. I love Spider-Man. I'm not going to let myself not be able to play this game, if you get my drift. You know what I mean? So I'm going to jump over there. But then again, with the Spider-Man aspect, I wish that my friends over on the Xbox side of things would be able to experience this game. I wish that people on the PlayStation side could experience Gears of War. I'm not a huge Halo fan myself, but I am a diehard Gears of War fan. I would love for PlayStation gamers to be able to have the opportunity to play some Gears games. But unfortunately, with how the market has been and how the industry has gone over the years, that's not the case. We're seeing Microsoft now, their higher ups, saying that this is something that they've always envisioned, is being a good publisher on these different platforms. You see what I'm saying? So if that has always been their mindset, and they have been acquiring these different publishing arms to make it so, hey, you kind of can't, if we allow it to, if we're saying, these games aren't going to be exclusive, we want them to go to different platforms. Well, guess what? These are huge publishing companies. You're going to want those games, Sony and Nintendo. You're going to want those games if you can get those games. So they might have new ownership. It might be owned by Microsoft now. But if they're saying, hey, we want our games over to you on your platform so everybody can play them, and we're talking about maybe a Call of Duty, why would you not take them up on that offer? You know what I mean? So this is something that really makes me happy. It makes me happy to see. Now, this only works if we're doing it both ways. Not necessarily. Let me back that up, because Microsoft can go multiplat without anybody else doing it, right? They just put more money in their pocket. But I want to see PlayStation or Sony take some cues, take some hints at what Microsoft is doing. Let's try to see and look at your catalog. See if there's any game that is, coming out down the pipeline that you wouldn't have a problem if, more people were able to play this game. Look at the sales on MLB The Show, all right? That game is one of the first Sony exclusive or PlayStation exclusive titles that has been a mainstay exclusive title that has recently, within the last 5 years, come over to the Xbox side of things. So why not look at the sales of that? How are they doing? Now, granted, it is available on Game Pass. So I don't know if the sales really, recoup over in that respect, you know what I mean? But we're talking maybe season pass sales, people who are buying players, people who maybe don't have Game Pass and they're just wanting to buy the games on Xbox. Let's look at those sales, see if it's beneficial to go multi-platform, But again, that's Sony's thing. It is what it is. The ball is in their court, but I am very excited, and I'm hoping that what we're hearing from Microsoft's higher ups is true, and that is a vision for them, is to go multi-platform and let their games be enjoyed by the masses on more than just the ecosystem that they have curated. Let's get it to other ecosystems, other platforms. Let's let everybody play games in 2024. All right, but that is all I have for you today on this Holocron Minute, guys. As always, I have been your host, Jedi Master Ren, and I will see you next time in the halls of the Jedi Gaming Academy. May the Force be with you.